All right. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you all for once again being here today for another Enlightened Sapiens session. So, as you all know, we've been doing these sessions every weekend in various fields from hiking and gardening and art and photography, of course. And, the reason why we're doing these sessions is so that we want you to pursue your passions and interests. In school, in colleges, we are always taught that we have only certain paths in life, but no one tells us what makes us happy. So that's what we are trying to do time and time again through all our mediums, is for you to pursue happiness through things that you love. And that's what we're here for, right? We're here to learn something new, something interesting, or something that we're passionate about. And that is the essence of Enlightened Sapiens. We are a community that encourages you to grow and learn with the things that you love, so that when you're ready, you can give back with this knowledge, making it easier for someone else to do the same. And today we have Pooja Mulchandani, who wishes to give back with her knowledge on photography. So a little bit about Pooja. She's a Mumbai-based food and photography, food and product photography photographer and stylist. And she's finished her degree in fine arts in photography and visual communication. She's worked with multiple brands from Blowfield Digital from restaurants like Dough, Sancho's, Local Junction, Peacock Life by Shabnam Gupta, and many more. So today she's going to teach us, take us through the absolute basics of photography. As you all may know, that we've been at home, so many of us have started various fields, started new things from blogging, from taking starting about food. So we thought we'll take you all through the basics of photography, but only through your mobile phone. And that's what we're going to do today. All right. So, okay, Pooja, just disable the annotation. It's on your options, if you don't mind. And okay. So everyone, we're here to learn. So I'll excuse whoever's doing this in the interest of exploration, but just stop annotating. We're here to learn. It's a nice platform, so don't make it dirty. And okay. So I'm going to hand it over to Pooja once we are done fixing this annotation. Pooja, if you're there, just in your options, in your more options, there's screenshot options. There's stop annotations, others annotations.
Yes,
just press that.
Hi.
Hey,
yes,
Pooja.
It's clear from my screen, so I don't know. Once again, I'll try it again. Is it better? Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see someone's annotating. So in your options, there's disable annotation, participants annotation.
It's disabled. Just give me one more minute. Annotation. I've cleared it from my end. I don't know if you guys can see it or not.
Okay, it's fine. Let's move ahead.
Is it okay now?
Yes, there's an option called disable participants annotation, Pooja. I'm sorry about this, guys. We usually get, so if there are kids over here, there are I'll teach you all other things to fool around with. Pooja, you got to share your screen. And once you share it, there's an option called disable participants annotation. Just click on that and let's go ahead.
Okay. Just give me one more minute. Please.
It's fine. It's not your fault. It's whoever's having fun. It's okay. We'll all wait. We're here to learn. I hope you all learn that, Pooja's taken a lot of time for this. We all have. We take, all these sessions may be free, but there's so much time and effort that goes into it. And we're doing this for your interest. So whoever's doing it, okay.
Okay, I think I've cleared it. That's the best I can. I can't seem to stop it. So really sorry about that.
Okay, it's fine. Go ahead, Pooja.
Is it clear now?
Okay.
Still not.
You know what I'm going to do? It's just a second, guys.
Can you is it possible for you to stop it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's since you're sharing it, you're the co-host. You'll have to do it. It's fine.
You can share it too if that's also okay. If you can control it.
Okay, fine. Right, sorry about this yet again, guys. Um, we'll just start. Pooja, you can speak. You can just introduce yourself while we just load this up.
Right. Okay. So Karan, hello everybody. Karan is gonna take care of the PowerPoint presentation for us here. He's given a very short and sweet introduction about me, and I'm super thankful for that. Super excited and thrilled to be able to collaborate with Enlightened Sapiens. So I am Pooja Murchandani. I'm a food and product photographer, like you mentioned. Before we get into the detail of the PowerPoint presentation, the detail of mobile photography, I have a short story for you guys about how I started my photography journey. So this is, let's go back to 6 years from now, where I was just deciding what to do, what to take as my career option. Both my parents are entrepreneurs. They are, one is an interior designer, the other is a wholesaler of white goods. So by choice, I was supposed to do join one of that. But I think fate had some other options. I remember very clearly that I was sitting at an interior designing college course, and I was, my mother is right here, the HOD is in front of us, and we're paying the check. And my mom looks at me and tells me, Pooja, you're not made for interior designing. Get up, let's go. And I'm like, what just happened? That was utter embarrassment for me. But I thank her till date because without photography, I think there's nothing I would do without photography. Photography was for me. Photography is something that I'm super glad that came to my life. I am super happy to be able to say that it's not a job, it is something more fulfilling for me. And to anybody, I know all of you guys are here as hobby photographers, but in case you ever pursue it, just go for it in case you want to pursue it. So yeah, that's that. Karan, I would like you to go on the third slide now. Yes, that's correct. So this is table of content, guys. I will quickly take you through the 6 things that we will be doing in this webinar today. The very first thing is photography, of course. I will tell you the literal meaning of it, what the term means. The second is types of lighting. There are, in general, majorly light is classified into two types. That is natural and artificial light. The third point is why with mobile, obviously, because I get that a lot, that there are SLRs, there are DSLRs. Why with mobile? Like how is it, like how do we do it? So why with mobile? Karan, I'm getting a lot of people telling me that the voice is not audible. Is it clear?
You're fine. You're absolutely fine.
Okay, great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Whoever can't hear, just you have to join audio on your mobile phones. It's absolutely clear, Pooja. Go ahead.
Perfect. That's great. So the third one was buy with mobile. So just pros of mobile, the manual mode, how to get about it. Composition is the fourth bit where I am most excited about, because you will learn how to take your pictures perfectly, how to set your frame. Styling is props, all about props and all about enhancing your pictures. Apart from this, we will also be reviewing your pictures. They've got a lot of pictures to review, but I've chosen some, so the review section comes then. And then finally, quick tips. Yes, Karan, please move forward.
Okay, so Pooja, if you want to you can share the PPT. So Vanessa Baptista was the one who was making those annotations. I have spoken to her and she's going to stop. So
perfect. Thank you so much, Karan. I will just enable my PPT.
And shout out to whoever on the chat box gave her name. So thank you. See, that's the power of the community, right?
Yeah, totally. That's lovely, guys. Thank you so much. I am quickly going to share my PPT now. Yes, so photography, here we are, the literal term. I'm trying to increase the screen. So just give me one moment, please. And here we are, this was about me, this was table of content, and here we are, photography, the term. So guys, what does photography mean? The term photography is divided into two parts. दो parts है इसके. It is taken from the Greek word photos and graphos. Photos basically means light, and graphos is drawing, painting, or writing. So photography is basically light painting or light drawing. Guys, I want you to emphasize on the fact that the term photography has light in it. So it is impossible for us to take pictures without light first, and the whole key ingredient of photography is light. There is nothing without light. Everything else comes later. After composition, your props, your styling, your story, whatever it is, everything comes later. First is the light. Get your light right and things will fall in place. So there are two types of light here. Like I said, natural light and artificial light. Natural light is obviously everything that we get from the sun. The sunlight is a source light, that is the natural light. It varies throughout the day. There is morning light, there is afternoon light, there is evening light, there are casting light, which we will get to. All of this is there. Natural light photography can be like any genre can be done in natural light photography. Food photography, product, nature, portraits, whatever you want, सब कुछ natural light में हो सकता है. Artificial light, whereas, is obviously for a lot of professional photographers use artificial light. I use artificial light source, but artificial light source at the end of the day is just an illusion of natural light. We are trying to create what the sunlight can create for us. That is all artificial light. So don't worry if you guys don't have artificial light sources at home. Your sunlight is more than sufficient for you to shoot anything you want. You just have to know how to control it. Now, here are some examples of light, and I think somebody is playing with the screen again, but we will minimize that. Yes, thank you. So, examples of light. I have a quick question for you before this. So, there's a quick poll which will come on your screen as to, according to you, what is the perfect time / light to take a picture? Guys, please vote. I want to see how many of you guys get this right so that I can move further. Yes, that's good. I'm getting a lot of response. Then I think you can stop it now.
We already had 250 people voting. We've got more than 300, 350 people here. Let's wait for all of them to answer. Just maybe 10 more seconds. Everyone just press whichever option you think works best.
So what light is the perfect for photography according to you guys? Morning, afternoon, or evening? Let's get the answers going. Come on. Amazing. I'm getting 59 morning. There is 17 happening. There's still people who are yet to answer.
Okay. I think we've got 300 plus responses. You want to share the results?
You can. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So according to you, what is the perfect light / time? 59 have voted morning, 17 are afternoon, and 24 are evening. But the correct answer is evening. I will come back and explain that to you. So morning light is basically the light between say 8 to 11 a.m. It obviously depends on where you're shooting, what part of the house you're shooting, or if you're shooting outside. But that is generally that at that time you get a soft tint of light. There's no hard shadows. There is just clean, nice, good light. At noon there is definitely good shadows, but to be able to control that shadows is all what the light is about, right? And the last light, that is the golden hour, which is in the evening. The golden hour occurs twice a day, that is in the morning before sunrise and evening before the sun sets. So you guys have two time zones, like 2 times to create good pictures, to create that golden hour light. And the correct answer is golden hour light because it gives you immensely beautiful, warm, gold light in your pictures. And that's the best to go for anything, for food, for nature, for portraits, anything. Just shoot at golden hour and you'll be good. Yes. Now moving forward. I think, yes. So now there is introduction to mobile photography. Sorry, the screen got stuck. Introduction to mobile photography, like you can see on the screen, there are 6 major things on why you should be using your mobile phone for photography. First is obviously compact size. You can literally take it everywhere. It's portable. You can take it everywhere. There is strong daylight performance. Sometimes a camera like a DSLR fails to give you that, but mobile photography just beats at it. It gives you excellent daylight performance. Then of course it is affordable, constantly improving. I currently have a OnePlus 6T. This launched in 2018. Now we have OnePlus 8T, and the main component that has improved is the camera of these phones. So camera is evolving not only on this phone but any phone. Like it's genuinely evolving. And then lastly, the manual mode. We will get to the manual mode, but let us first discuss the major, like the basic components of your camera. So as soon as you open your mobile camera, this is what you see. The right side of my screen is the screenshot of the camera. There are 2 major things. One is this grid line that you see, and then there is the sun. the sun slider that you see, correct? So what is the grid line? The grid line basically helps you compose better. The sun slider is basically for your manual exposure, like for you to expose your light correctly, for you to expose your frame correctly. Okay. Apart from this, on the screen, you can also see an HDR mode. There's an icon called the HDR. You can, this is basically high dynamic range. You don't have to remember it, just remember HDR. And HDR, what does HDR do? When you take a picture, it takes the brightest side of your picture and the darkest side of your picture and combines it to give you a seamlessly correct exposed image. That is what HDR does. One small disadvantage that the HDR has is that it takes time to, to take like a shutter takes time. Like it takes time to flick a picture. It takes longer than the other picture. Apart from this, there are three types of ratios in your phone, right? There is 4:3. There is of 1:1. Thanks to Instagram, we need 1:1 right now because of the ratio. And then there is full screen. Full screen is basically for landscape, and if you want to take good sunset shots or like cloud photography or stuff like that, you use the full screen mode. 4:3 is basically the most commonly used, and it's perfect for use. So this is what you will see in your mobile cameras. Don't worry if you don't have a grid line or if you don't have a high dynamic range. You will find all of this in your settings. Do not worry. In case you don't, you can still work on mobile photography. There's no problem at all. Further on, we will do the manual mode. The manual mode is also called as the pro mode of the phone. In a lot of phones, you will find it as pro mode. Now, what is manual basically? Manual is up that we learned about how these images, how you can take images by the normal settings of your camera. Like the camera decides for you. But manual mode mein you decide what you want to do. You are in full control of your camera. You get to decide how much light enters, how much light doesn't enter, क्या focus में होना चाहिए, क्या focus में नहीं होना चाहिए. ये सब the manual mode, the pro mode helps you do that. Generally, all phones have a pro mode. In case you don't have a pro mode, you can go download it from Google Store or the Apple Store. They will have a manual mode camera, so don't worry about that as well. Now, have you guys ever wondered how to take that blur background image? I get that a lot from my clients कि पूजा मुझे ना पीछे का background ऐसे धुंधला सा blur करके दिखा दो या फिर give me that bokeh effect. Do you guys wonder the same? Do you guys think that this is possible in your mobile phone cameras? The answer is it is absolutely possible. This is the image that we can achieve through our pro mode from our phone where the background is completely blurred. How does this happen? So that now that I told you that there's a pro mode, you can go to the pro mode. The pro mode has a lot of other things as well. There is aperture, there is ISO, there is white balance, but that is a little complicated, right? So let us start with the aperture mode first. Aperture mode is basically on the right hand side of the screen you can see a diagram where f1.4 f20 is written. That is basically the camera ka zoomed in version. So this is my phone, this is my camera, right? If you zoom it, if you look closely in your camera, that's how light enters from in your phone. So the aperture does exactly that. It allows you to let the light enter in your phone. Correct? Now, the aperture is denoted by the F. F is the alphabet that you denote your aperture from. Now, it ranges from say 1.4 to 36. Cameras mein alag hota hai, but that is what the usual range is. F1.4 or F1.8 means sabse zyada light aata hai. That's the most amount of light which your camera takes. Okay, that's the widest aperture. And F36 is something where your camera is completely closed. There is very less light coming in. Correct. So, but now in f1.4 is where you can create those blur bokeh sort of effects. That is where you can, put it to f1.4, you have immense light and then the background gets blurred. That is how you get those seamlessly beautiful photos. In case your phone doesn't have a F mode, again, don't worry about it. There are three simple things that you can literally do. One is there's a portrait mode in every phone, so you can use that. I am aware that the portrait mode is for portraits, but if taken in the correct way, you can do food and product photography too. You just have to practice a little. apart from that, apart from using the portrait mode, the second and the quickest thing that you do is आप अपने subject से background को दूर रखोगे. You will keep your subject away from the background. Your background has to have a distance of at least like a good distance, and then you will automatically get that blur background effect, right? And still, if this is also not working, there is an app called PixArt where you can manually go and edit your picture and get that blur background. So I hope that was, I hope you guys try that, and I hope you can use it to the fullest. These are some quick examples of the F number, F5.6 as you can.
Yes, I think just her internet is maybe network's down. Just give us a second. So I'm sure she'll be back in no time. So yes, what she's trying to explain to you was aperture. Now aperture is, like she mentioned, I'll take it to you all through the screen. Just a second. Here you go. Okay, so she's explaining the manual mode. That's how you can play around with your phone. As you can see, even here, these kebabs and these wine glasses are a little bit out of focus, but only this is in focus, and you can do that. Yes, Pooja's back. Okay, super. Go ahead, Pooja. You can.
Thank you for taking over, Karan. Thank you. Yes. So that is the promote. Karan, you can go to the next slide. So like I was showing you guys examples of F1.4 se leke the screen is still not changed.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So that is that. Further moving on to the next slide. The Pro mode has an ISO, which is International Standard of Organization. Don't remember the name, doesn't matter. What it does is basically helps you get more light in your frame. So the example that you can see, 100 ISO is the actual thing that is visible. An actual sunset would be visible like that. But 200 gives you more light, 400 gives you even better light, and 800 gives you perfect light. So you can play around with that in your phones. The only thing that you have to keep in mind that as in when you are starting to increase your ISO, आपके phone में grains आने लगेंगे. There will be grains in your phone. So try to avoid that. Try to see what is best for that particular situation. Yes, that is all about ISO. It is obviously denoted in the corner. Karen, you can change the slide.
Yes. Just doing that.
Basically, what ISO does is gives you dark image se leke bright images. Next comes the white balance in the Pro mode. Again, very quickly, white balance, the term suggests that there has to be a balance. Like white is basically your eyes see white as white, but your camera doesn't see white as white. So what the white balance helps you do is it helps you tweak that. You can literally see, you can literally adjust that if you want your images to be whiter, or if you want your images to be a little yellow, or have that tube light effect, whatever. You can control all sort of you can control your color tones in white balance. That is what white balance does for you. Moving on to the manual focus. Manual focus is, now of course all of us know that there is automatic focus in our phones. That is when you literally press the phone screen, you can take a picture and the picture is focused. Manual focus comes under the Pro mode, and manual focus is denoted by MF. Manual focus has a lot of advantages, that you can literally select a particular subject and that will be in complete focus. Rest everything will get a little defocused. Quick fact about manual mode is manual focus is that before, like in the advent of manual focus, there was no autofocus. People were just doing without autofocus. Autofocus abhi aaya hai. Manual focus was there since forever. So yeah, that is some quick things about manual focus. Guys, please keep experimenting. Keep knowing how your camera works. That is the whole idea of it. You can take pictures, but first you need to know your device. Now let's take a quick breather. If you have any questions, Karan, we can take one, and we can move further, please.
Okay. If y'all have any questions, just use the raise hand button. I think Aditya Naidu has been asking a question for a while.
Yes.
Go ahead, Aditya. We'll take a couple. If you'll have any questions, we've covered a little bit technical, but it's important, like Pooja saying, because if you really want to take any professional shots from your mobile phone, you need to understand your manual mode and the pro mode. So, Aditya, go ahead. You can quickly ask your question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Hi. Please call me Pooja.
Yes, Pooja, ma'am. I had two doubts. First one was that fetcher, I didn't actually understand that what is the difference between the ratios.
Okay.
Like
so,
1.4 and other things. I didn't understand, basically.
Okay. So, Aditya, the ratio difference is basically when you open your screen, there are different ratios of your screen. 4:3 is the size of your photo. Photo ka size will change. 1:1 is the photo size will get into a square. Like square mein aapka photo aega, and then full screen is where your phone will use the entire screen, like the entire mobile will turn into your camera. 4:3 is generally for like everyday use. You can take portraits, you can take food, anything and everything. 1:1 specifically Instagram ke liye use hota hai, because Instagram pe wo fit hota hai, right? That kind of image fits. That is the size that fits. And then full screen is obviously for landscapes and nature, which you get a full coverage for. Yes, that is the answer.
Okay. We have Aditya Upadhyay. You can unmute yourself and ask your question. Aditya?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, ma'am. My doubt is when I use manual focus on my mobile, it shows green boundaries on every object. Is that common or my mobile's problem?
What does it show?
Green lines when I use manual focus.
No, those green lines are basically the way your camera is telling you that it is completely focused, that it's sharp, and you can take a picture. किसी के phone में green lines दिखते हैं, किसी में red dots दिखते हैं. That may vary from phone to phone, but that is not a problem at all.
Okay. If I click in that picture, it doesn't show in. It will not show in other pictures, right?
No. It won't show in pictures. That is just for you to. Your camera is telling you that. Only for, on your screen, that won't show in your photo at all.
Okay, let's take one last question. Meenal Sheth, you can unmute yourself. We have a lot to cover, so let's.
Yes, sure. Okay, I just have one question. I do food photography, right? So it is mostly indoors, and it is usually in the evening, and there is no actual sunlight coming inside the house. And if I switch on the tube lights, there is like a reflection of light falling on the food or on the background. So I wanted to know which products we can use in order to avoid that. Yeah.
Okay, so Meenal, firstly, we'll be covering a lot of food photography images in the coming PPT. So I will explain it to you then. But the quick suggestion that I have for you is try shooting it at the daytime. If you're at your house, so there is no problem. Even if you shoot in the afternoon, just make sure the light source is pretty good, and then you can shoot throughout the day. So that is my quick suggestion for you. Otherwise, I will definitely explain it in detail in the further PPT. Right. Okay, so guys, we are done with first set of questions. Now comes the composition. Firstly, before you know what you're like, before you get your props and everything, you have to know what your story is and what you want to convey. It can be the slightest and the smallest thing, right? Even if you, like Meenal said, she's a food photographer, so she knows what food is she shooting. She knows her subject very well, right? You have to decide what your subject is, what story you want to say, what is your perspective. Everybody has a unique idea, right? So try to figure out what you want to say first, and then after what's your story comes the composition definition, which is Composition is just basically putting the elements of elements in one frame. So now that you've decided your subject, now that you've decided what your story is going to be like, you have to get these elements and put it in your subject properly. And right after this is the workflow. Guys, it is very, very important to have a workflow. Even if you're doing photography as a hobby, make sure you have a workflow. The workflow can be cut down into 3 parts. That is what I usually do. One is pre-production, which is now that you know your subject, get the props, see references online, go to Pinterest, go to Google, see what you can shoot around that subject, see if you have those props available at home. 99% of the times it is going to be possible that your props are already going to be at home. So, wo sare props ko ikhatta karo, then shoot. And lastly, there is post-production. Guys, post-production is basically editing your pictures, but do not edit it too much. Edit it, like basic editing is fine for you. Like you just see brightness, contrast, and colors. And yes, lastly comes the composition rules, that is rules of composition. I'm covering 2 of them for you right now. There are rule of thirds and the second is leading lines. Rule of thirds is basically, there are a lot of composition rules, but these 2 are good to go. You will be really good if you follow these rules in any kind of photography, not just food and product. आप इसको nature में shoot करो, आप इसको landscape में shoot करो, कहीं पे भी shoot करो, rule of thirds will work everywhere. So what is rule of thirds? It is a basic composition of a photograph. You take an image, split it into 9 segments, 3 verticals and 3 horizontals, right? You see the red dots on your screen, but before I explain what rule of thirds is, I want to ask you, do you guys know what rule of thirds does? It's a quick question. Does anybody know what rule of thirds does? Why is it used? I see a lot of raised hands, but it's better if you guys just type it. Okay. Okay, I will just quickly explain what rule of thirds is. Basically, when you take a picture, Karan, just go to the next slide. Basically, when you take the picture, these are the dots. The dots that you see, uspe sabse zyada, the eye travels to those spots first. This is there in everybody's phone. Remember, I explained grid in the earlier stage. That is where your rule of thirds lie. 41% of people tend to see on the left hand side first, left side top mein first. So these 4 points you can place your subject and nobody is gonna miss it. Rest of the other props, other things you place somewhere else, but ye 4 points mein se anywhere you place your subject, it will be visible. That is rule of thirds. There are some examples of rule of thirds. That is, the very first image is exactly on the rule line at the bottom. Why this image is also working is that there is only 1 cup of black, like a black color cup, and the entire background is white. So contrast is automatically working. The second image, you can see there is a tea packet. I don't know if you can read it, but it's a tea packet, and it exactly lies in the rule of thirds. Hence, you can see it. Of course, the whole image is very busy, but still your first attention will be towards the tea packet. And lastly, the third image that you're seeing of an omelette on your screen, that is again on the rule of thirds, and that is where exactly the eye goes. Rest, the eye later follows everywhere else, but pehle aapka subject dikta hai. So start placing your subject on the rule of thirds. Now comes the composition of leading lines. Leading lines is basically one of the most important composition elements of photography. Again, can be used anywhere in food, product, nature. Guys, I've been telling you this because don't think कि ये सब मैं use नहीं कर पाऊँगा. This was not something I can do. You can use both these composition rules everywhere. So they obviously create a very strong visual impact. What it does is the lines help you travel to the subject. Abhi tak rule of thirds mein you were keeping the subject. Leading lines mein it helps you travel to the subject. So the next slide has some examples. I have put some good examples of nature this time for you to understand how that will also work. So in the very first image, the mountain is our subject, correct? But the road is leading us to the mountain. That is what leading lines does, right? The second image, the house is our subject, but if you see the mountain here, the slant is our leading line. Leading line doesn't necessarily have to be a straight line. It can be coming from anywhere. So like a slant or like a diagonal, anywhere and everywhere. And lastly, the third one, if you notice it, there is a S curve. Now this curve can be found everywhere. You can create food may also S curves while you're composing your images, but nature maybe you'll be very surprised if you look around yourself, there are a lot of S curves around you. So the person who's standing there, that is our main subject, but the lines are leading us to that subject. Yes, thank you for that, Karan. You can move to the next slide.
That's
Now,
how you use annotation, guys.
that's the exact correct way to use it. So perfect. Now, after this, right after this, there is image styling. Now that we've understood how the camera works, how the composition works, it is very important for you guys to style your subjects, to know what angles to use. And these next slides are going to be about that. Please go to the next slide. Right. So there is the eye view. There are three types of angles that I will be telling you. One is eye view, then there is 45-degree, and there is top view. A lot of you have been asking me in the chat how to take a flat lay. So the top view part is going to come in the flat lay is going to come in the top view part. But before that, styling in the eye view. What does eye view mean? Karen, you can go to the previous slide. So eye view is basically, if this is your camera, this is your subject. You shoot it exactly like this. That this is what eye view is. Your camera is going to be right in front of the subject. That is what eye view is. Styling in the eye view is basically, I've given some examples here. There are product boxes mainly, but all of them are styled in a very different way to one another. The second one is some household decorative items. Here again, the view is correctly straight, like the camera is absolutely straight. What I've done is I've tried to take elements of the same color palette. So the first photo is all about greens and goldens, the second is about black and white and gray, and the third is about pink, green and white. So make sure you start to see your colors like that, what is matching with what, and then place it together. Right after household, like home decor products, we have food, which is everybody's favorite, I feel. So here in the very first picture, you guys can see that it's just a glass kept there. So it's totally okay if you don't have, more styling elements. Just keep a tray, just a glass is good, but make sure you have a colorful background there. That's how you can play around with it. The second photo is again two glasses kept, but the strawberries at the back and the glass at the back is on the same line. So that's how you can do another styling. And then lastly, the third photo is about 3 layers. So you can see the front glass is half cut. The main subject is not cut, guys. Do not cut your subjects. And the bottle at the back is full. Coming to the styling eye view, the last example is some cupcakes, everybody's favorite. So cupcakes, you can literally play around with it. Now, like I mentioned, you don't cut your subject. I mean, don't cut your main subject. As you can see, the center is completely focused. The cupcake on the center is completely focused. It's okay if you cut the piche ka or the side ka, that's okay. Use elements like books, use elements like plants available at everybody's house. A teapot is available. If you're using a teapot at the back which has a little green, make sure you use the front, you use that color again. It's all about balancing the colors, guys, and then you'll be good to go. Practice as much as you can, and then only you know how it works. Styling in the 45-degree angle is basically, up that we were shooting eye view mein. This was our subject, this is our camera. Now your camera goes right here. That is the 45-degree angle. It is super simple. You don't have to, this is nothing over the top. It's super easy once you start shooting. The first two examples are for 45-degree, and now here you'll see that the first image of the candle is basically in the rule of thirds A, and B, it has, like I've tried to keep a poster above, under it. So hence, wo piche wale candle se ut ke aa raha hai, and that way you can, your eye literally goes to that place. I've used leaves here. These leaves are not something that were present here. I literally just went down. They were dry leaves. I picked them up, put them in my picture, and that's it. So it's all about seeing whatever is around you. The next example of styling in 45-degree would be, again, I think product.
Hey guys, I think we're just facing a network issue from Pooja's end again. Give us a second. Okay, till she's back, right? So, like we were mentioning, we are doing styling, right? So, what's important is, you of course have the subject in mind, but you have to look at how you're complementing the subject with your backgrounds, right? So, if you can see, there are some terrariums here, some plants here, because if you see, even the book here has some plants over here. If you notice, right? There are some plants here, and she's actually appended that with some plants here. So if you see the whole styling of this whole thing is little earthy, organic. You see flowers here, a pot here, and something with here. There's purple here. There's in this owl has a little bit of purple. There's purple here again. So that's again with color. So you complement your main subject. And make sure like she was mentioning, your main subject should not be cut. Like over here, the main subject is not cut. You can of course have other objects which are cut in the image. So make sure that when you're taking a picture, also this has a little bokeh effect, what she was mentioning with the f point. Again, f point is for the aperture and used to create that blur effect in the background. So this gives that depth, and that's why this is looking sharper, more crisp than this, because this is not the subject. This is just adding to the screen. So we are talking
I'm
about,
back, and this is the first time that the internet has gone so many times.
It's fine, Pooja. It's absolutely okay.
Technology has both its pros and cons. So anyway, so you're right. Like he explained, it was perfectly correct. Styling in the 45-degree works like that. You can go to the next slide. It was absolutely correct. Then again, styling in the 45 degrees, some food examples. Now here, of course, the first and the third image are taken in a restaurant. But guys, like I said, leading lines, the example that I gave you, the third image is exactly about that. You're leading it, the three things are leading it to the food. So leading lines can be used here. The second image is about all about layering. So the pastry was presented to me in the first plate, but what I did was kept a saucepan sort of a thing and gave it a layer. So that is all about styling. You can around say use layers and work around it. And then the next slide. Again, the first image is also all about layers. So there are three sections. There's garlic bread, there's burger, and another burger. So again, draw a triangle sort of a thing, a layer again. And the other three examples, again, guys, all these three examples are shot at home. Believe me, they're all at home. Two of them are natural light and exact. So you guys can do it too. The very first image, the black cloth that you see is actually my mother's kurta. So you can use whatever you want. The second image is, again, what I've tried to use is, since the waffle is black, white, and brown in color, my whole base is gray in color, because black and white ke saath gray always goes well. And the third image, where you can see the pie is green and brown color. So what I've done is put a green color plate to complement it. And since the brown is sort of matching with the orange below it, the orange is a chopping board, so you can use literally whatever you find at home. Just make sure the colors are matching, and you can aramse use it. Again, the third one is a good example of how you can use it your aperture. You can keep the vegetables at back and just blur it out, and you'll know what's there in the food. Right. Exactly after this comes, I think, styling in the 90 degree, if I'm not wrong.
The top view, yeah.
So again, 90 degrees is all about that flat lay that you guys have been asking me for. 90 degrees top view, flat lay, 3 terms for one thing. Here your camera is, now this was the front view, the eye view. This was 45 degree, and this is your top view. Your camera is here, your subject is here, guys. So the subject is flatly laid. Anything you do, not just clothes, you do food, you do product, you do fashion, anything you do, just lay it on the ground, but try to lay it beautifully. That is the whole key about it. Even if I've taken clothes, I've tried to make sure that they're not boringly kept, they're not folded, they're not kept in the regular way. I've opened them, I've tried to make them walk, or try to make them stand and stuff like that. So that is all about styling in the top view. The next styling in the top view is, I think, examples of food, if I'm not wrong. Again, the first and the third example, guys, shot at home, absolutely at home. Literally मैंने बनाया, sandwich भी मैंने बनाया, corn भी मैंने बनाया और shoot किया है. So everything you can do from start to scratch. The first image, you see a scarf. Again, you can use a scarf niche under your plate. Try using it. If you've kept a magazine, you don't want to show the entire magazine, it's totally okay. Just show some part of it. Show a drink, show a house plant. Everything is at your home, literally at your home. The second image is, of course, at a restaurant, but this was not the setup. Like, I was just given the pizza. जो आपको placement दिख रही है, the 2 plates that you see coming from the corner is basically what I've set it up as. That is what styling is. You just set according to your own, whatever story you want to say. I wanted to convey 2 people eating a pizza, so I've done that. You want to do 3 people eating a pizza, you do that. So whatever you want to do. And the third image is again of the corn. So what goes with corn is salt, is lemon, stuff like that. So you keep those ingredients, you make it a meal and you shoot it. That is absolutely it. Again, yellow corn has some black, since we roast it, you get it all black. So I've kept the base as black. Every answer is in your own subject only. You can choose the background according to the subject. And then the next slide will, I think, have some home decor product styling options, like styling in the top view, home decor products. That is basically, guys, all of these are created. ऐसा हमको लगता है Pinterest पे कि ये कितना अच्छा है, this is so easy to do. Nothing is easy. You have to literally take efforts to style your subject if you want images like this. Of course, the first photo is a very lazy and very comfortable, cozy, there's a pillow setup, but everything was set like that. Every angle, like if a pillow is at a half, I've set it like that. If the shoes are yellow color, because I want the contrast to happen. Again, a table view. So this is literally, if you're eating meals, in the simplest forms, you can literally take photos in any simple, form. Don't be like, it has to be over the top. Literally anywhere and everywhere you can take pictures. After this, I think the best part comes. It's time to review your pictures, guys. Quickly, we are going to review some pictures that we've taken.
Yes, we could not keep all.
What I've tried to do
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pooja. Sorry.
Yeah. So what we've got a very good response. What I've tried to do is take as much as I could. Here, I will be first showing the picture of the person who has sent it to me, and then how you could make it better. Right? So if Keto is online, Keto, I love that image. I love the fact that you're shooting your products. I love the background. It's plain white. Your major product is, उठ के आ रहा है, that product is literally coming अच्छे से, but how you can improve it is, I want you to change the angle, but because that way you'll be able to see the product more clearly. Like you can do a front, but a little 45, not so much 45, but go a little down. Now I see that you have no props in your images. Try using props, see what is happening. I can see a dark fantasy in your product box, like in your mithai box. Remove that dark fantasy, put it in half pieces, use some flowers, work around that. Like props will do magic for you, Kidu. So yes, that's for you. The second image is by Nikita Monga. Nikita, honestly, I love this image. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love how you've used all these elements. There is a cloth, there are 2 matching brown plates, there is a book. I get the entire vibe. Quick changes would be, you can use a rule of thirds maybe, because my eye is not going to the subject. As a photographer, I know that your subject may be the pancake, but as a layman, I don't know what your subject is. So try putting it on the rule of thirds. And then maybe you can, you show your scarf under it or at the side. Even the book, I would request you to close it and, to give more dimension, show a good cover on it so that, it's even more appealing. Just one last thing, Nutella, try not to cut those things. Either you can use a bowl, put your Nutella inside it and use a spoon to it. That will just give you beautiful dimension to your pictures. The third review for the day is, guys, Princey Gold. So Princey, I clearly see what your subject is, which is great. Like I know that you're focused, that your subject is this, and that is absolutely correct. What changes I would make is maybe you can do a completely eye view thing. Don't like this is a little top, a little 45, not too much, but go completely straight. Give me an eye view in this. Use, now I can see a lot of happy birthday on it. So maybe if it's a birthday wish, put happy birthday at the background, or just put a cake or stuff like that. Your background it can be seamless. Don't I can see some lines. Try to eliminate that. If you don't like the top view, there's an option of if you don't like the front view, there's an option of top view. So do that. Just using basic flowers will also work if you don't have something fancy. So that is that. There is Bala Venkatesh. I think he's a food blogger for sure, because I see bloody foodie on his photograph. So good game. It's excellent game with food blogging. I love that picture. I love how muted the background is. I can just see the food. Quick tip would be just to edit that picture. Everything is perfect. Edit that picture. If you want another view of that picture, you can literally pick it up and take a zoom in image, because people crave for zoom in images. If I see a zoomed in noodles image on anywhere, I'll be like, I want this. So that is one change you can make. If you don't want to make it, just edit it and you're good to go. You're absolutely perfect to go. And I believe that is the last, there is the second last image, which is Tara, I believe. So Tara, I love the ambience. I love plants in general. So I love how you've chosen the product. I absolutely love it. One thing that you can do is, again, don't take it from the side, take a front view. You're showing your plant sideways. Go ahead, create an atmosphere. I see curtains in your frame. I see a beautiful window in your frame. Probably arrange the height of your plants and you'll get amazing pictures. If you're something into macro photography, you can literally sprinkle some water on your plant leaves and take a close-up shot. So that will work too. Otherwise, I love that subject. I love plants in general. And lastly, coming to Komal, if she's online with us, I want to ask her if this is Dalgona coffee. Was she following the trend? So, okay, if it's a Dalgona, I genuinely think it's a Dalgona coffee. A very good example that Komal has given us, if our background is quite at back, you can, it will create that aperture effect for you. But Komal, my only suggestion for you is, when I saw the image, I thought it's a cutting chai ka glass. So maybe you can change the glass so that we know that it's a Dalgona coffee, right? And other two things that you can quickly do is maybe use a hand model. You can ask your mom, you can ask your dad, or anywhere. You can literally ask them and, show hands. Karan, can I see the image or the reference image? Right, thank you. So you can literally use hands in that. The background looks super perfect, so use tray is not a problem, but try using hands. Human elements work everywhere. If you want to create more of a vibe, then put a cupcake, put a brownie, put something that goes with the coffee and create a better environment. So that is for you, Komal. Absolutely love the vibe though. With that, we come to the last and the most important quick tips bit here. We know about photography, we know about styling. These are some tips you can use for any sort of photography, not just food or nature. Quick tips would be tip number one is clean your lens. Guys, you keep your phones, like everybody keeps their phones randomly anywhere, everywhere. There are fingerprints. Make sure you clean it before you use it. The second tip would be shoot with both hands for better grip. That is going to do wonders. What we usually do is just casually, photo le liya, ho gaya. You will be surprised if you keep your phone like this and shoot with complete and use hands. It will do amazing things for you. The third quick tip would be light is the key. I've been telling this since the start of the presentation, guys. If you get the light wrong, you get everything wrong. Try to practice as much as you can. Try to practice in all areas of your house. Jahan pe bhi light better aa rahi hai, but light is the key. The fourth tip is window key is the light. Like I said, if the window is a winner, it's the most soothing and proper light you ever get. Window ke paas mein just keep a table and put your subject there and shoot. The fifth tip would be don't cut your subject. Guys, you can cut your props, but do not cut your subject. Your subject should always be in complete focus, completely there in your frame. You can cut that magazine, that flower, I don't care, but don't cut your subject. Add human element. You'll be surprised to see how much a human element works. Human element is basically, kisi ko bhi bulao, just ask them, take a hand model. It will do wonders. The next quick tip is, this is use a reflector. A reflector is basically, if you have window light here, you put a chart and your subject here, you put a chart paper here, so that there is that can reflect, the window can reflect to the chart paper, and that will give you more light. Instead of that, the next tip is avoid using digital zoom. That's correct, and avoid using digital zoom. Guys, what we usually do is हम अपने phone को zoom करके वहीं पे खड़े हैं, but we're zooming our camera instead of going in front of the subject. Try to go towards the subject. That will help better. Clarity maintain होगा. The picture will look even better. And lastly, always be ready. Guys, you can shoot anywhere, everywhere, at your house, at your office, at a cafe, at a restaurant, anywhere. But always be ready with your camera. Everywhere you will find an event, just go for it. Don't worry about it. With that, we come to the end of the session. If we have time, we will take questions. I think we will take questions for sure. And it was an amazing session. Thank you so much, Karan, for this collaboration.
Most welcome, Pooja. Let's take a quick questions. There's some questions on the chat box that people had. I'll take some of those. Pooja, maybe you can answer them, and then we can, take the remaining. Tanvi Sangi had a question. In Top View, there's a lot of problem with shadow. How to avoid that? And there's a couple other people who had questions with shadows.
Okay, so the quickest way, actually, generally Top View doesn't. Top View has very less shadows. Either you'll be under a tube light or something of that sort. So try to see what your light is. If you're at a window light, you won't get a lot of shadows. Try to avoid tube lights or bulbs and stuff like that, and you'll be good. In general, if you want to avoid shadows, like I said, use a reflector. Just hold a chart paper against your subject, and you will be good. So that is quick ways to avoid shadows in your photographs.
Okay, a lot of people have this question. Answer is not very easy, guys, but the question is, what is the best mobile phone for mobile photography? Okay, is Pooja with us? Okay, maybe I'll answer it till she's back. It's tough mentioning which phone is there. Everyone, the idea is that you get started with photography. That's what we are trying to do. So use what you have first. The idea for mobile photography is that you don't have to invest in a DSLR, which is 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. The idea is use what you have, make the best use of your resources. And that's what we are trying to do. Use your mobile phone. If you don't have XYZ mode, it's fine. Use the mode that you have. That's absolutely okay. Okay. Let's see. What else? Who else has a question? Prerna Shah, you have a question? You want to quickly ask a question?
Yes, I wanted to ask that why is the golden hour light the most suitable?
Okay, let Pooja come back and we'll get to your question about the golden hour. I think she would be better equipped to answer that than me. I typically, it depends on the time of the day and what I'm clicking. For me, it depends on the time of the day for me, but Pooja may be better equipped to answer that than I would be. Let's see. Okay. So Goto.
Hello, yes, I'm back.
Yeah, okay. Just a sec, Sugoto, just before you begin. So Dipti Jain had a question. Prerna Saha had a question. Why is the golden hour the best time, Pooja?
I think you just answered that. No, that was correct.
I didn't actually.
Okay, so you did not. Okay, cool. So guys, golden hour is basically the best light because the sunlight is at its best. It gives you a very good cast of golden color, and that you can use in your pictures. That will enhance it amazingly, and that is why golden hour is best. It works for every format. Like it works for all sort of genres, all genres of photography, and hence you can use the golden hour. Yeah.
Okay, super. And Sugoto, you can go ahead. We're going to get to your questions. I'll tell you all how you all can ask all your questions, guys. Just stick around. We'll go ahead, Sugoto. You have to unmute yourself.
I see a lot of questions coming on the chat as well.
Yeah, okay. If you want to take any of those till he unmutes himself. I don't know why he's not able to unmute himself.
Okay, so I will just read out a question actually. Is tripod necessary? What kinds of props do we invest in for beginners? Guys, tripod, I think Vaishnavi has asked us this. Tripod is not usually necessary. If you're maybe shooting at night, you have less light coming in, maybe then you can use a tripod. Otherwise, there's no need for tripod. What props can you invest in? Go to the cheapest market in your cheapest market of your town and get props. Don't invest in heavy props. Don't take it from malls and stuff like that. Go to the go to the basics and take props. You can start with using pastel colored bowls and pastel colored and spoons. That is very good. Invest in cloth, like a good cloth will do really good for food photography. That is what comes to my mind. Invest in backgrounds if you can. Invest in a good chart paper or a textured chart paper. That will work for a beginner as well.
Okay, super. Okay, so I know you'll have a lot of questions. We had only 1 hour, and Pooja had a daunting task to get started with all of this. So what we can do, everyone, whoever has a question, just use, I'll share some details with you all. Just give me a second. We have a group on Facebook which you can sort of use to ask your questions. It's a photography community actually. Where you can ask the questions. Pooja is part of that. She'll be kind enough to answer all your questions. There, of course, our IG is there. Pooja is traveling with the lens as well as Enlightened Sapiens. I'm just going to share the details. Just give me a second.
For sure. You can ask your questions to Enlightened Sapiens on DM. They will forward it to me. You can come and ask me. You can drop a DM for review, for pictures. Both Enlightened Sapiens and I are available. So don't worry about it, guys.
Exactly.
Let's make the community bigger. Ask us anywhere you like. We would love to review it, send it to Enlightened Sapiens and Traveling with the Lens, please. Yes, Karen.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Like what Pooja is saying, So we shared, the team has shared a link of the community. It's called ES Photography Community. You can click on the link, or it will be in the feedback form. We send these feedback. Just give us your feedback. If you all click any pictures, do tag Traveling with the Lens and Enlightened Sapiens, so that we can actually, see what your before and after pictures are, or you put it on the Facebook group. The idea is that we learn. That's all that we're trying to do, is that we learn, we better ourselves. So use any of the mediums that are there, that is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever you like, it's all here. And, we continue, tag us with your images if you have. And of course, we like what we had today, we have a lot of sessions. So, you can attend any of these. They're in different fields. We have one, different session called Understanding How to Read Artwork. That's just understanding how to understand the painting. I think it's a very niche audience, and people don't know how to approach a painting and understand ye kya hai. So stuff like that, Ayurveda, painting with coffee, exploring the Andaman Islands, self-care sessions on overthinking. So we have different sessions. All of it is free.
So Pastor Karan, so that I can take one more advanced session, please.
Oh, of course. So Pooja, we are just getting started with Pooja as well, and she's going to be around, and she's going to take a lot more sessions. So like we said, we're going to send out the feedback form. Give us your feedback. Join us for any of these sessions. We have it every weekend, and like we've been saying, the reason why we're telling you to join these sessions is that because we want you to further your interest. If today you learn something about photography, tomorrow, and today Pooja gave back with her knowledge on photography. We want you to learn. We want you to grow in what you love. And when you're ready, you reach out to us. So if you are into video, if you're a videographer, if graphics, animation, anything that you think of, content writing, if you think you like to contribute to the community, just reach out to us on Instagram or on our email, and we love to for you to be part of the community and give back, and give you a platform to give back. And those of you who would like, you can even contribute any amount, and make sure that these sessions keep happening, right? We're having these sessions for free, but if you like to contribute, we're sending the link on of course the chat box as well as the email. Any amount is just making sure that we reach everyone with free knowledge. We are creating good content. We are trying to give good information. So do help us if you like. And of course, I want to say thank you, a big thank you to Pooja. Of course, thank you so much for this beautiful session. I think there was a lot of learning, and we are really excited for your next session. We're going to keep you all updated with next sessions from her. We might get into a deep dive session. So give us use the community. That's the whole idea. Give us your input, and thanks again, Pooja. Thank you, everyone.
Pleasure is completely mine. Thank you so much for all of you to join us. Enlightened Sapiens is doing an amazing job. I love what you are doing for the community. So guys, please support them through and through. And yes, we will stay in touch for sure, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks everyone. Ask your questions on the group, like you said, tag us, and I'll see you all very soon. So I'll see you all for the next sessions. You'll know where to register. It's on the website, or just go to our Instagram and you all will get the link. It's in the upcoming sections on the website. Thanks a lot, everyone. And I'll see you all very, very soon.
Bye.
Thank you.